Would somebody please ask everyone in the cocktail hour to get one for the road and come in? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the program. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start the program. And people, honestly, aren't listening. I don't know what to do, but as we would say in Greek, it's showtime. Ecumenical Patriarchate, and a very special guest, His Eminence, Metropolitan Emmanuel of France, Άγιος Ανδρέας, the personal representative of His All Holiness, our Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomeus. Our honorees are escorted by the National Commander of the Order of St. Andrew, our own Dr. Anthony Indrakis, Archon. Please remain standing for the national anthems sung live from Broadway by Nasika Gabrielaki and for the invocation by His Eminence Archbishop Demetrius, assisted by Father Peter Karloutsos, Pastor Emeritus of the Assumption Church in Danbury, Connecticut.
Σε γνωρίζω από την κόψη του σπαθιού τη δρόμερη. Σε γνωρίζω από την κόψη που με κάνε τα ευτυχή. whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er was we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang the thirsty gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I'm going to come down and take care of you. I want him to control you, okay? All right. Folks, my son Hunter and I, please sit down. I'm sorry to interrupt. Folks, it's a delight to be with you all tonight. Your Eminence, Archbishop Demetrios, my good friend, and I consider you a good friend, and I hope you don't mind my saying that. Your Eminence, Metropolitan Emmanuel from France, Metropolitan of the United States, Commander Librakis, my friend and my commander. So many loyal friends who have taught my son Hunter me so much over the years, and that's not hyperbole. We really have. It's a special honor for me and my son Hunter to be tonight, particularly because we didn't think we could make it. As a matter of fact, I sent a video. After I finished, you may prefer that I just had the video. But when I realized that Hunter made it clear to me we could make it, to represent our family and the love of our family in person, Father, I knew it had to come. I'm going to be meeting shortly because I have another commitment at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And then from Southern Delaware, you're going to talk with an accent. I got to be down in Frederick, Delaware, because, whoa, my deceased son's daughter is playing in a field hockey tournament. And I love you all, but I love her hell out of It's an honor to be with you and spend time with the community archives. The three greatest honors I've ever received in my life, beyond being a father and a son and a brother, were one receiving Medal of Freedom, the other one receiving the honor from the Martin Luther King Library, but receiving your Queen of Glory Human Rights Award in 2015 was an honor that I did not deserve, but I treasure it. It's an honor to be back with you, Father Alice and Sophia. Nancy, you are the real leader right here. Father Alice is okay. But the rest of you may not know this, but your family to me, your family to Hunter, to my daughter Ashley, to my deceased son Bo, to Jill, all my grandchildren. Nancy, Jill wanted me to send to her special love. We've been close for decades. We were talking to your son about it. I think we were back in 1988 when we first met. We watched each other's children grow, and in our time, the widest time, the most dire need, you and the whole family, I mean the whole family, reached out to my extended family and the decency, loyalty, love, and will never be forgotten by any of the Bidens. I mean that. And thank you, your love continues, not only with you there Even more than your hugs and your reassuring words was your prayers. Your fervent prayers have meant so much to all Bidens. I'm reminded, I know His All Holiness, when I had the great honor of being with him, kidded me about my thinking I'm a Catholic theologian and talked about he was so gracious with me for so long. But the famous theologian Soren Kierkegaard once wrote, faith sees past the dark. And in our darkest moment in our life, your faith helped us. And I thank God for your faith and ours, but I pray that the faith of our Jewish brethren who lost so much today, if you haven't heard, in the synagogue in Pittsburgh, act of savage and religious violence, reminiscent of Germany in the 30s, happened. 11 dead, I believe 7 wounded, and in a synagogue. And the guy who came from trying to say he felt the need to protect, I'm paraphrasing this, to protect the rest of the world from the savage years.
Okay. Pull, back here. You can't stand there and block everybody, Father Alex.
You know, over a year ago, I wrote in the aftermath of Charlottesville that America was in a battle. It was a battle for America's soul. We saw crazed faces lit by torches, crawling out from remote fields in the deepest, darkest, most disturbed centers of the web. White supremacists, neo-Nazis, the KKK, chanting the same exact anti-Semitic vile, carrying Nazi flags that was chanted in the streets of Nuremberg, streets of Berlin, streets of Munich in the 30s. Some hoped it was an isolated incident. No one could possibly believe that, I think, anymore. Today, a man filled with the same anti-Semitic bile entered a synagogue in Pittsburgh, United States, killed 11 and wounded 6. And I don't believe there's any explanation other than drawing a straight line from Charlottesville to today's horrific events. Hate is on the march in America. Just this week, we've seen pipe bombs directed against numerous officials. African Americans killed in Kentucky. Continued physical threats against the press. An all-out campaign of fear directed at immigrants.
Turn around. You've got a whole ball group. You can't see you standing there. You've got a squad.
And when hatred turn around Safe Harbor, when it's giving space to fester, when it brazenly puts itself on display in a historic American city, I mean all of ours in this room and other Americans, our core beliefs, all that's made this nation a beacon to the world, is at risk. Folks, words matter. Words matter. And our silence is complicity. Words matter, and our silence is complicity. The one thing we're not in this room is complicitous. We have to rage against these atrocities, appeal to our better angels. That's what this community is about. That's not who America is. America is so much better. We have an unmatched ability. You, Zanti, Father Alex, this community. I believe there's nothing we can't achieve together. You have an unmatched ability to bring communities together around issues of critical importance to the church, to our communities, to our nation. You have universal respect among all our political leaders in both parties. The Greek community has meant so much to me my entire life. The fact is, your hospitality you've shown me, the education you've given me, and that's not hyperbole. Those of you who know me know I've been saying this for the last 45 years. The education you gave me, the friendship you've shared with me over the years. And actually, Father Alex, I know I would have never achieved the recognition of the Human Rights Award were it not for you. I understand. You've given me so many incredible opportunities. As you and Commander Lumberakis observed, one of the highest honors of my life was the moment I cherish most was being able to spend time with this All Holiness Bartholomew at my home in Washington, in Turkey, in Athens, and other parts of the world, and the great, great honor even my grandchild got to meet His All Holiness. He radiates grace, and this is not hyperbole. I'm a practicing Roman Catholic. Some fine people, but I've never met anyone like His All Holiness. He radiates grace, conviction, and faith in every moment. Even when he and I were stuck in a very small, broken down elevator in Athens last year. True. Also true, and some of you heard me say this before, he's the most Christ-like figure I've ever met. True. And I'm delighted that once again, we can gather to celebrate the values, the basic rights that we all share, that are the birthright we have just because we're children of God. No government gave them to us, God gave them to us. And we're able to renew our collective commitment to their defense. Freedom of religion, freedom to believe or not believe, freedom of conscience, cherished roots of our nation, which we have in no small part owed to our ancient Greek philosophers and thinkers. But we know that protecting religious freedom, upholding universal human rights, never ends. It's a job that never ends, and we see it again today, as I said, in Pittsburgh. You know, the columnist David Brooks, who's a conservative columnist, but I think is brilliant, has been writing a lot about what he calls this invisible moral fabric that holds up all societies. It's made up of basic norms, decency, honor, giving hate no safe harbor, realizing there's things bigger than each of us. Truth, not lies. We have to constantly remind ourselves that America's ultimate strength doesn't lie in the example of our power, but the power of our example. That's why we're who we are. We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division. We choose allies over enemies and truth over lies. These are all the values that are in your DNA. Not a joke. Not a joke. That's the work to which Father Alex and Xanthi have dedicated their lives in partnership tonight. We're all once again inspired by their example and never tire in the defense of that which we hold sacred. That's why we have to continue to work together around the world to ensure the Greek Orthodox Church can not only control its destiny, but be free of the influence of governments. The holy places and heritage sites in Turkey that must be protected. Our Muslim communities in Greece have to be safe and respected as well. I'm also pleased, now that I'm not a city vice president intervening to try to help, I'm able to say, His All Holiness, I'm pleased to learn His All Holiness' recent decision to recognize the independence of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Because people in every part of the world should be free to worship as they choose, and it falls to us to protect that freedom. We have to continue our efforts to defend and uphold universal rights so that every child on earth grows up knowing that they're safe, loved, and valuable. And we've got so much work to do. So again, I want to thank everyone in the Greek Orthodox community for your continued leadership in these issues. Thank you for your friendship to me and Hunter and my entire family. And my warmest congratulations to Father Alex and Xanthi. The honor is well deserved and so much more. Thank you for letting me.
Excuse me, this is an unusual situation, as you can understand. So that's why we have an interruption of what we are doing, because here is bad. Please.
By the way, I'm hanging out with you guys so much I'm pushing myself the wrong way.
Hey Harry, can I start a chant? We want Pence. We want Pence. We want
Our special guest, yes, certainly appreciate him making a special visit. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program.
In the proud tradition of honoring individuals and organizations who have displayed an immense impact in the struggle for basic human rights, as well as those who have provided generous contributions and invaluable assistance toward universal religious freedom, you have chosen to bestow on this evening your most prestigious award upon the very spiritual advisor of your order, the Reverend Proto-Presbyter Alexandru Karloutsos and his gracious wife, Presbytera Ξανθίπη. And thus, by doing so, you have rightly chosen to recognize and honor the unwavering dedication and selfless service they have demonstrated in the last 5 decades to Orthodoxy in the United States and throughout the entire world. Ever since the earliest years of his priesthood, Father Alex has served as a comforting pillar of hope, courage, and inspiration to those around him. As a devoted and faithful clergyman of the Mother Church of Constantinople and our beloved eparchy in America, he has offered his time and God-given talents to build, enhance, and support numerous ministries and parishes, as well as to provide spiritual direction and leadership to various organizations and institutions. Perhaps more importantly, though, Father Alex has deeply impacted and enriched many souls around the globe in search of spiritual refuge and guidance. Father Alex's ability to open the ears of his heart and soul in order to embrace their needs, together with his sincere desire to stand side by side with them in their hour of struggle, truly is a testament to the Christ-like empathy and love that he holds for his fellow man. And it is precisely this same compassion and understanding that resounds deep within the person of Presbytera Ξανθίπη too, who has not only stood at his side throughout all these years, but has also labored together with him. Throughout these years of Presbyteria's exemplary service and outreach, Ξανθή has strived to uplift those less fortunate around her and even those abroad, whether in Greece or in our historic and martyric Queen of Cities. She has assisted numerous students in their pursuit of higher education, and therefore Ξανθή has on a personal level played a vital role in the formation of many young people by securing for them unparalleled opportunities for learning and enlightenment, even when such possibilities seemed at times to be out of their reach. Moreover, the sensitivity that Presbyteria Ξανθή has shown in the face of issues that have global significance, such as human trafficking and child abuse, is indeed remarkable and worthy of the highest commendation. Her heartfelt desire to protect and uphold basic human rights complements and promotes the very same initiatives of the Ecumenical Patriarchate, which calls for all people to respect and sensitize themselves to the sacredness of the human person, so that together we may mend the broken hearts of these innocent individuals and end this unfathomable evil that has caused great suffering for all humankind. Dear Archons, your collaboration with Father Alex and Presbyteria Ξανθή is widely known and admired. Thus, by celebrating their work for humanity, you commemorate at the same time your decades-long synergasia with them, and we rejoice with all of you tonight, especially thinking of all of the people that have been helped over the years, and all of the people that have been inspired to love and good works. For as the Gospel boldly says, you shall know them by their fruit. And in this spirit, we would like to express that the abundance of fruit produced by Father and Presbyteria Karloutsos, together with all of you, has spread throughout the whole world, extending to all of you our patriarchal blessings and prayers. We beseech the Lord our God to abundantly bless you with his heavenly gifts and to multiply unto you the harvest of your generosity, mercy, and righteousness, according to the measure of your manifold good works. Η χάρις του Κυρίου ημών Ιησού Χριστού και η αγάπη του Θεού και Πατρός και η κοινωνία του Αγίου Πνεύματος ή με τα πάντων ημών. Αμήν. Συγχαρητήρια, χρόνια πολλά.
To be honest with you, I've always said no, but the Archons convinced me. My wife has gone through a lot with me in many ways. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let me get into my speech, please. Your Eminence Archbishop Demetrius, Your Eminence Metropolitan Emmanuel, personal representative of the Ecumenical Patriarch, Your Eminences, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Graces, much love to our Archon family, brother priests and sister presbyteras, and beloved friends all. Allow me to invoke St. John Chrysostom's final words. Glory be to God for everything. Ξανθή and I would like to echo this. Glory be to God for each and every one of you here this evening as well. Although we are not the most worthy recipients of this award, we are immensely aware and humbled by its worth. For us, Patriarch Athenagoras was a visionary of our church in America and the Ecumenical Patriarchate. the infrastructure of our archdiocese, which is the bedrock of all that we enjoy, was bequeathed to us by this prophetic prelate. Even our political ties to the Oval Office began when then Archbishop the Athinagorus was called in November of 1948 to lead the Sacred See of St. Andrew as part of the Truman Doctrine and Marshall Plan, to keep the first throne of orthodoxy from being trapped behind the Iron Curtain and falling into the communist hands of Stalin's Soviet Union. That is why President Truman decided personally to send his trusted friend to Constantinople on the presidential plane, known then as the Sacred Cow. We express our heartfelt gratitude to the Archons of the Order of St. Andrew, and most especially to their indefatigable national commander, Dr. Anthony Limbarakis, a fellow PK and a trusted brother, for this august honor. And in the person of Dr. Maria Limbarakis, we thank all the Archondices, the spouses who encourage and empower their respective husbands and families to be faithful Orthodox Christians and advocate for religious freedom and human rights of the Mother Church. Speaking of the precious word mother, a most cherished name for someone who lost his mother when he was 10. How can I express what the mother of my children and the yaya of our 10 grandchildren has meant and means to me? By the way, for my grandchildren and my children, I love you more than life itself. Together, my wife Xanthi and I have worked and served in the Holy Priesthood for over 48 years. While I was seen processing with popes and patriarchs, my unseen co-worker was sorting suitcases at airports. While I was in receiving lines with presidents and first ladies at the White House, Presbytera Xanthi was arranging chairs and tables at the State Department. When I celebrate the Divine Liturgy and enjoy the first seat in our church, my co-disciple takes the last pew to ensure proper discipline in the narthex nave. While I'm the Mater D superstar at our Hamptons Greek Festival, my privileged presbytera is peeling onions, washing pans, and baking baklava. My proto presbytera, and by the way, she didn't want to even hear the speech. I said, let me tell her, no, I don't want to hear it. Okay. My proto presbytera is more than the wind beneath my wings. Xanthi is my compass, my curb, and my conscience. Without Xanthi, there is no Father Alex. Everything I have done, I owe to the love of my life. That is why Presbytera, as the songwriter sang, I love you more today than yesterday, less than tomorrow. No round for a moment for us, by the way. We both need to offer a few words of remembrance and thanksgiving for our parents of blessed memory. My father, Father Michael, was a wounded hero priest, who, like Fathers Nicholas Palaiologos and John Limbarakis, and so many other pioneer priests, were true country parsons as described in the Canterbury Tales. Chaucer wrote, "The country parson is the only devout churchman because he lives in poverty but is rich in holy thoughts and deeds. He preaches the gospel and makes sure to practice what he preaches. He is everything that the monk, friar, administrator, and pardoner are not. My dad lost his wife, Olga, when she was 34, and he 35. And with the help from Yaya Stavrula, he raised 6 children, all by God's life-saving grace. Because of them, and the heroic taken for granted parish priests and presbyteras, past and present, I see the Archdiocese through my parents' hope-filled but pained eyes, and not through the lofty lens of my office on 79th Street. My dad raised me, but it was my father-in-law, Clergos Cosmas Caravelas, and his saintly wife and mother by grace, Anastasia, who gave me their firstborn princess and helped raise us up both to become the together team we are today. These humble Greek Orthodox political refugees from atheist Albania opened up their hearts and home to all, and they embodied the essence and epitomized what it means to be philotimy, to love honor, philoxeny, to love the stranger, philanthropy, to love their neighbor compassionately, and philothi, to love God, who is the Alpha and the Omega of our existence. We human beings have always sought answers for the purpose of our lives and the meaning of our deaths. We seek to live the Socratic examined life, knowing full well, as our Lord Jesus said, what does it profit a man and a woman to gain the whole world and yet lose his or her own soul? It's one reason why many of us during the Christmas season find comfort in watching Jimmy Stewart's It's a Wonderful Life. We need to be assured that our lives matter, that the lives of our loved ones matter, and that without them, nothing really matters. We are all interconnected, brothers and sisters, through our Heavenly Father, and whether we realize it or not, we have an Aristotelian cause and effect with everyone we meet. Allow me to share with you some insights of Metropolitan Anthony Bloom, a truly holy man. He writes that our life does not end at the moment when we depart this earthly life, for we have left a mark in the world in which we live, a mark that is indelible. Every person whom we have met, every word we have spoken, every gesture of ours, every action of ours, everything that was us or was done by us, proceeded from us, has left a trace in this world. At this point, the Metropolitan mentions the name of a man, a French phony aristocrat who lived in the 19th century that I'm sure 99% of us present have never heard of, except maybe Rabbi Schneier and Father McShane. Joseph Arthur de Gobineau died in October of 1882. But before his death, he wrote a short, absurd treatise on the inequality of the races. No one reads this book anymore, but it was read by a hate-filled man whose life was not so wonderful, and it influenced a twisted Adolf Hitler to almost bring about the devastation of the world. I bring all this up because my wife and I have lived a wonderful life, which has been impacted, enriched, and enhanced because of every person we met, both living and those of blessed memory, who left their personal mark upon us. Each of you has touched us indelibly, and we are grateful to you truly. Because of the different priestly ministries assigned to us, parish priest, youth ministry, public affairs, communications, leadership 100, our service in Constantinople, the faith endowment and the archons, we are both humbled and proud to say we have worked with and served the Greek Orthodox faithful in America. Personally, our debt of gratitude to the lay people, the women and men of this archdiocese, who became not only my trusted friends and mentors, but real sisters and brothers. Thucydides posited that the Greeks were a people born into the world who take no rest for themselves, nor give none to others. True. I'm bear witness to that. It is that restlessness that propelled the sons and daughters of poor immigrants yearning to be free to climb to the mountaintop of the American marketplace. We have come a long way from the villages and towns of our parents and grandparents, and fulfilling their dreams and hopes. Our generation has achieved wealth, success, and prominence far beyond anyone's wildest expectations. However, the mountaintop has dangers awaiting our children and grandchildren, because remembering the tragic fate of Icarus, the pernicious precipice is always present. Out of love for our children and our grandchildren, we have showered them with everything that our parents could not afford to give us. And yet, tragically, we have neglected to instill in them the priceless gifts our parents did give us. Timeless values and principles which were forged out of a 2,500 years legacy. Values and principles which make us realize that our self-worth is much more valuable than our net worth. Now is the time for our national community to come out of the malaise that has begun to paralyze it. We must rid ourselves of the dreaded disease of indifference, which the church fathers and mothers called akivia, and come together triumphantly to build the light on the hill, on the Acropolis at ground zero. Our community's self-worth must be made manifest in the construction of our St. Nicholas National Shrine, so that the dreams and hopes of those who came before us will be a legacy we bequeath to those who come after us. I take this opportunity to thank His Eminence Archbishop Timήθηκαν for encouraging me to stay in my Southampton parish, and for strengthening me in my ministry at the Archdiocese, and for being a comforting archpastor for our family when my father died and Santi's mother passed. Your Eminence, we will always be thankful. We thank our parishioners, many of whom are here, working with Santi and me for the past 20 years. I also want to express my appreciation to all of my co-workers throughout the years who have assisted Santi and me in our various ministries. We are blessed to now work in our Archdiocesan office with Krista, John, and Andrew, and with Father Constantine, Bernadette Anastasia, Jeannie, Paul, and Panasi in our Dormition Church. I would like to offer my last words to pay tribute to the three hierarchs who really inspired me to be the best priest possible. Father Byron Papanikolaou. Although not a bishop, he was truly a hierarch priest who challenged me to love unto madness the flock entrusted to me by Christ our chief shepherd. His own holiness, Bartholomew, the Green Patriarch, who inspired me by his living example from the first time we met in 1983 to put Christ and his church above everything else. Like his predecessor, Patriarch Athenagorus, this intrepid apostle of peace never fails or wavers to protect and defend religious freedom from political despots, whether it be in Ukraine or anywhere else in the ecumenical world. His Eminence Archbishop Iakovos was surely one of the greatest religious leaders of the 20th century. And President Carter was right to bestow upon him the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1980. If I did become anything in the Archdiocese, it was because Archbishop Iakovos entrusted me with the ministries and functions that forced me to grow as a person and as a priest. Allow me to share with you a bitter truth that Archbishop Iakovos taught me at a meeting I had with him in October of 1977. I was 32 at the time. I was the director of youth ministry. He called me into his office. He said, "I'm going to change your job." I said, "What did I do to fail this man? I've been working hard." He said this: "Everywhere you go, people come back and tell me how much they love you. You have a way of opening doors. There's a gift you have." He said, "But no one tells me they respect you." So I said, "I'm going to give you a job. You open doors here, I'm going to give you a job to open up doors in Washington." I didn't know it at the time, but Jimmy Carter never invited him prominently to his inauguration. We had no contact or connection to him. And then he said, "But if you do your job well and you succeed, you will be respected. But then you got to remember one thing." I go, "I'm scared to death. I'm 32 years old. What is it?" He said to me, "If you succeed, people will start talking about you. And if you don't want people to talk about you, don't say anything worthwhile, don't do anything worthwhile, and don't be anything worthwhile." He was so right, I gotta tell you. Those piercing words of Archbishop Iakovos allow me to end with the wisdom of a most worthy Athenagorus Human Rights Award recipient, Mother Teresa. The following was engraved at the wall of her home for the children in Calcutta: "People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. When you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you have anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and God. It never was between you and them. Anyway, thank you very much. My wife. This is the first speech he's done in 48 years, so this ought to be good.
Your Eminences, Sister Presbyteres, Reverend Clergy, dear Archons-elect, my beloved friends. I'm going to read this. I would like to express to the Order of St. Andrew my own gratitude for this recognition of our life's work. As grand as this evening is, it is even more humbling because whatever we have achieved together, we did it because it's what we truly believe. Father Alex and I have been given unique opportunities to serve the church we love so much. Each act of service has been special, but because of our love for the Ecumenical Patriarchate and especially His Holiness, receiving this honor is really special. I remember hearing about the legendary Patriarch Athenagoreu since the time I was a little girl, and received his blessing while visiting Corfu. He was so impressive and imposing, and to receive this award with his name and image is very meaningful to us. At this moment, I cannot help but think of my father Clercos, my mother Anastasia, of Father Michael, and the one who was taken from all of us too soon, Olga. These were our parents, the ones who instilled in us our love for the church. We learned from them, and we have tried the best we can to pass it on to our children. So tonight, as Father Alex and I receive this award from all of you, please allow us to share it with the next generations, our children and grandchildren, because they are so much part of why we do what we do. I would like to ask our children, their spouses, and our grandchildren to come here on stage. They are the ones who will keep our faith burning and bright in the future. Michael, Anastasia, Father Constantine, Olga, Mark, and the grandchildren, Joshua, Alexander, Constantine, Santi, Luca, Constantina, Demetrius, Tiliano, Stephen, Clercos, Leo, and Michael Jr. This award and this night is much about all of you as it is about Papu and Yaya. Thank you all very much for the honor, one we shall treasure for the rest of our lives.
σας.